Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to another day of meditation. And we're going to do 10 minutes. Today would have been the last day of 10-minute meditations where we move to 15 minutes. However, as you know, classic Mercury retrograde would do, um, it would have us slow down and look at our communication styles, our ways of communication. It slows it down. It kind of just creates fogginess. And that's really, it was an interesting day yesterday when I was recording or trying to record. Things weren't, they just weren't working out. I had a little tiny getaway, and it threw my routine off. And then on top of that, I couldn't find a place that I could record. And then once I did, the audio wasn't working well, so I had to take it down. So it was truly like a classic Mercury retrograde and eclipse week. It just kind of things just were not working out. So I decided to take that video down, and I decided to record a different one today and just make this day 6. Um, so it kind of bummed me out because, as I've mentioned in the past, I have a lot of fixed energy in my chart, in my birth chart, in my personality, which is Leo. And, you know, once things are kind of set in my mind of how it's going to go, it is supposed to go that way, right? So, not having much mutable in my chart, it was really frustrating to experience. So, what the great thing was about it, though, is that it got me to recognize how much I value this practice and why it's so important for me. So, that's something for you to recognize during a Mercury retrograde, during an eclipse week type of thing. And it could be separate from the two. Mercury retrograde happens several times a year, and eclipses happen a few times a year. But it's really interesting to, when you take advantage of those energies, really step back and observe, how am I responding to all of this? What am I noticing? What am I becoming aware of? And for me, it was recognizing that there was a lot of flexibility in me. There was a lot of growth because the past me would not have responded the way I did. The past me would have, acted differently. And just kind of looking at, what do I now value? And having a regular meditation practice is something that I value. And so the atmosphere I was in, is something that I could probably easily start to walk away from because it didn't support my authentic self. So that's something for you to start evaluating, is what is an alignment with my needs, with my wants, with who I am, what isn't, and if there's nothing that if there's things that aren't aligning with me, then those things are ready to come to a close. And that's the blessing of a full moon, that a lunar eclipse is all about, but the full moon in general is about closings. So this one being a biggie, being the eclipse in Scorpio, it's about what things what to forever with, and what have you not, what you're ready now to let go of what might have been rooted deep in my psyche and deep in your psyche. Because, again, as I've mentioned in other videos, that's what Scorpio is about. Scorpio is a fixed sign as well. But you want to start just evaluating, how has this week gone by? Where have I stayed stubborn, not wanting to budge? And then maybe this week showed you it's kind of easy now to let that stuff go, that stuff in the past. It's like, I don't know if I want to do that anymore. And not that I don't know, I recognize I don't. It's not what I value anymore. So it's something for you to check in with during the week of a full moon, during the week of this eclipse, this total lunar eclipse. It's a biggie, and you might find it actually pretty harmonious for you to just say, you know what, it's actually easy for me to release that stuff. So it just didn't help that it's in a Mercury retrograde where things might not go as planned and your communication isn't going as smoothly, your thinking isn't going as smoothly. You might be a little bit foggy minded and just not sure what's happening. So, yeah. So, with that said, let's get into the meditation and get your body in a position where you're ready to sit comfortably for 10 minutes. And you're going to be focusing on your inner world, redirecting that inner child, the mind. So go ahead and close the eyes. Maybe taking in a deep breath. Or you could use the 7 to 11 breath, where you inhale for 7 counts and you exhale to 11. You know, whatever is right for you. Inhaling to 7 and exhaling to 11 if this is the practice you want to do. Or you just want to get in tune with any soothing sounds. You want to get in tune with the rhythm of your breath, the naturally occurring breath, where you're not deepening it. You're just noticing what the breath needs. Maybe it just wants to flow. Just allowing any outside noises to take you deeply into gratitude, being grateful that we're alive, being grateful that the ears are working beautifully, being grateful to hear maybe nature or maybe quiet stillness wherever this video finds you. And then coming back into the body and noticing the posture. Has it tilted? Is it straight, elongated? Is it hunched over? Or if this finds you laying down, because that's the comfortable and right position for you, notice where the surface is, how your body is resting on the surface. If you're sitting, just notice what the surface feels like, where the body is pressing against it deeper. And that's same for if you're laying down. What parts of the body are maybe feeling that surface a little bit more intensely? What other areas are softer? Just checking in with the body. If the mind wanders, remind it that it's a child and you're redirecting it back to the body. Bringing that gaze to focus on the third eye center, or raising that gaze to the horizon with the eyes closed. Redirecting the mind back to the breath without judgment. Just slowing the mind down. It's a perfect time to slow that thinking down with the Mercury retrograde. That's exactly what it wants to do, is to slow us down. Allowing any distracting noises to take you back into comfort, because it's just a sign that your body is functioning beautifully, your mind is functioning beautifully. Taking the opportunities to separate yourself from expectations of any meditation, and just to observe the emotion, observe the responses, just allowing the mind to come back to the inner world and just recognizing that you might have wandered off or got distracted, and that's okay. Just training the mind to focus, to come back to focus. And maybe just noticing where the breath is. Does it go all the way to the belly, or does it stay in the chest? Even shallow breaths can reach the belly. And before you know it, 10 minutes has gone by, and you're welcome to stay in this, to slowly come out, or you can come out as quickly as you'd like. It's what feels right for you. And so, just a reminder, set your intention for the day, and maybe with the knowledge that we're in a week of Mercury retrograde, that your processing, your thinking, the way you communicate will be different. It will be different. And it's meant for you to slow down, to really be aware, to focus. And so be compassionate with yourself, be compassionate with others, because we're all going through that energy. We're all experiencing this slowdown of mental fog. And so people might say things that they don't say things that, that aren't clear with how they're truly feeling. It's not clear with how, where they are really at in many levels. With Scorpio involved, though, it could mean that there is some hidden truths that, that they might not have been aware of. So have compassion, as I mentioned in my last video. We all have that Scorpio energy in us. So to not, or to be aware of the 3 stages, and I encourage you to revisit that video, but if you don't know what I'm talking about, but the rising above and getting to that eagle's perch, that's what's going to help you to move through these energies, is to get above that eagle's, or get to that eagle's perch, see things from a different perspective, that everyone's going through these energies, and we want to anchor in love, compassion, for ourselves and equally for others, so that our experience here can be more peaceful, more loving, just more harmonious with everything around us. So I wish you a beautiful day wherever this finds you. Maybe it's a beautiful night. So love and light. Take care. Much love to you.